Hi, I'm Mattie from Quiltsmart. I'm going to show you a little bit about our Midi Bag today. But first of all, I'd just like to introduce you, if you don't know, our Mondo bag, Midi Bag, and Biddy Bag. So like a little family of sisters. We're going to talk about the middle one today. So let me just set these aside. And the first thing that we're going to be looking at is the instructions that come with it. You get these great instructions. They're very nicely detailed inside. For example, step 1, it shows you how to cut apart the interfacing. And what you're going to do is cut. We have lines. We did all the thinking for you. We've got little cutting lines, and it's very easy to cut it into the 4 gridded sections and 2 handles. One handle's at the top, one's at the bottom of the panel. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to, with jelly roll strips or 2.5-inch squares. So it's a great thing to be able to get into your stash and finally use those jelly rolls for something. You're just going to simply place the squares between the dotted lines, and then you're going to fuse on the gridded section. I like a little seam, and I'll show you the back of this so you can see what that looks like with all the squares fused on it. Now once you do that, you're simply going to fold on that dotted line and stitch 1/4 inch. So you're going to go like that all the way across, and I'll show you what that looks like on this piece here already done. So that's how that looks. All of these little seams are sewn. The next step is to take and clip at each seam. And this is nicely illustrated in the instructions too. So you're just going to make little clip marks. And then on the interfacing, there's some arrows. It's going to show you which way to press that. So that the next step is you go the other way and you're stitching the long seams there. So now I have a rectangle that's already stitched. And what I'm going to show you to do with this is how to put it into what we would call the L's. So there's one section and here's the other section. And so we're calling this an L. These happen to have little dots here, so we're matching the 2 dots. But the other thing that's really cool about the printed interfacing is when you flip your L over, you can see that it says bottom center here, and that matches up. So once you've got that matched up, you know that you've got it right. And the seam that you're sewing is straight. So these lines here are for folding in another step. So you don't sew on those lines, you only sew on this line. So I'm going to put that right sides together, and that's the seam that you sew. Okay, so you're going to end up with 2 L's. One like this and one like this, so they're the same. Now on this one, there's the bottom center again. If you flip your L's upside down, you will see, pretend that this one is already stitched, you will see that these all line up again. And that's what you're going to try to achieve there. Those are all lined up. And I have one here that's done like that, so let me show you that one. Here's the 2 L's already sewn, and one's upside down, one's right side up. And very simply, you are going to match these together, and you're going to sew that side. So you just put them right sides together. I kind of go like this, and then that's your next seam that you sew right along there. Okay, so now that I have this seam sewn, I'm going to show you how to press it. You'll see on each end it wants to go one way. So this one goes that way and this one wants to go that way. I just call it a twist seam and let it fall where it may. Now the next step is one of the tricky ones. So there's these little dotted lines, dash dotted lines, that are diagonals. What you're going to do is fold on that, and that will bring this seam together. Right here. So I folded on the line, bringing this together, and now I'm going to simply match up those seams and let the end fall where it may and stitch from here to here. You're going to stitch here, and then you're going to do the same thing with this seam to this one and go around the pinwheel. It might seem awkward, but it works really well. And once you've got that, you've got your bag. And now I'm going to show you this is a bag that has, it's actually a Mondo bag, but it has the lining in it, which has the batting attached to it. And sometimes people have a little trouble with the handles, so I thought that I'd show you that real quickly. The handles go between the two, and they get lined up with this, so you can see there. And this is all going to be stitched together. You can sew the handle to the bag before you put the lining in it. But once you do that, then you turn it because you've left an opening in the lining, and you'll be amazed at your bag and how quick it comes together. So I hope those tips have helped you, and you have a great day making your Midi, Mondo, or Biddy bags.